Well, Katie, I think, are we ready?
Yep.
I think that now we're going to talk again about my mother and daddy growing up because, and my grandparents, and I've told the story about how they got married. They ran away and got married because my mother, she grew up, had a little more than what my daddy did. My daddy grew up real poor because his mother died when they were 8. And so anyway, he, when my daddy worked on the farm for my grandpa, my mother's daddy, and of course he didn't think he was good enough because he was an old poor man. Well, my mother loved my daddy now. So, of course, they ran away and got married. And when my granddaddy, Danforth, found out about it, he said, well, we'll have to take the shotgun and look him up and kill him, And so he did. My mother's grandpa, he got his shotgun. They were going to find him and shoot him.
That's terrible.
I know. That's the way they used to do things. If they didn't like it, they'd get their gun out. Of course, he wasn't going to shoot anybody, but he was going to scare him anyway. Of course, it didn't do any good because they ran and got married. And anyway, my daddy, in the meantime, he had worked in the tobacco there for a year. And he told my grandpa that after my mother and daddy got married, he called and told him that he wanted his year's pay. And my grandpa said, if you want your year's pay, you'll have to come get it. And of course, my daddy was scared to go up there because grandpa, he didn't know if he still had his gun. And her grandpa, too, was after him because he had a rich man picked out for my mother. And they didn't want a poor man for Mama. They had higher dreams for Mama. And so what happened was, after they waited, I think they waited about a year.
What happened to the rich guy?
We don't know what happened to him. But anyway, he missed out. So, because my mother was a beautiful angel of a mother. So anyway, after a year, Mama told the story of how they called for their money and they went up there to get it. And she said that from then on, my grandpa, he never had anything against my daddy. Everything was fine. He saw him. And of course her grandpa, my Mama's grandpa, he was still mad. But what happened with him, Mama said he came one day and he said, I had a dream. And it must have been a bad one because he said he wanted to apologize for not accepting her marriage. And from then on, he was happy with their marriage. But my mother, and when growing up, Daddy, he loved my mother so much that he would always, even growing up as a little kid, you would see Daddy look at Mama and tell her she was the most beautiful woman. And he would wink at her. Even as they got older, you would see Daddy winking, and he loved Mama. You don't see many marriages like that anymore, that they're totally in love.
No, not really.
And that's the way my mother, and that's how I grew up, was seeing my Mama and Daddy totally in love now. They didn't have a whole lot, but they did. They were rich in love, and that's all that mattered. So.
You gotta tell about you and Granddaddy's story about the parking.
Oh, okay. Well, that's another story. Let's get to another time on that.
Okay.
Okay.